Hello world, it's Lee Kelson coming to you again live outside the Speakers Lounge at Fintech Hong Kong Fintech Week, and I'm here with Alexander Graubner-Muller. Alexander, welcome.
Hey, welcome.
So Alexander, you are the founder of Creditech. Can you tell us a little bit about Creditech?
Yes, so Creditech is a company focusing to serve the underbanked consumer segment. We develop new technology that uses artificial intelligence and alternative data to produce a new form of credit rating, and that empowers us to actually lend to completely deprived segment in the market.
Right.
We started a company about 6 years ago. We were one of the first companies actually in the field to come up with this new approach of credit rating. And over the last 6 years have grown to serve almost 1 million customers around the world. We have expanded the business to 5 markets, ranging from Eastern Europe to Spain to Latin America, and at the latest we launched India this year. We raised about 250 million euros in capital from top-notch investors, and yeah, I think I'm very excited about generally the progress of the company.
That's fantastic. 250 million euros, a lot of capital to raise, but obviously expanding and growing fairly rapidly.
Exactly. So I think we're on a fast growth trajectory, and
these fast-growing companies become cash-hungry beasts, right?
Well, I mean, we're a lending company, so that means we also, do have to fund a balance sheet, and that's clearly, a capital-intensive business. On the other hand, it allows us to scale very quickly.
Yeah. And now AGM Capital, that's your private investment company. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Obviously, if you're active in fintech, you come along like a lot of very interesting opportunities, and not everything. We can do with Creditech. So basically, what I started to do is, I set up investment company, private investment company, to support early stage businesses and founders in fintech and insurtech, but some other technology related areas as well. And I generally see myself as an early stage investor, but also as a mentor and advisor, because I think over the last 6 years, with Creditech, we have learned a lot of valuable things. We have probably done a ton of things wrong, and I'm very happy to also share that experience with other founders to help them prosper.
And I think that's a really important part of the early stage companies is mentors. I don't see enough mentors around in certainly my travels. Certainly in Australia, we don't have enough mentors out there that have been there, done that. But for early stage companies that are looking to get into fintech, what's the one piece of advice that you would give them?
Speak to people who have been around in this industry for a while, and learn from their experiences. And obviously, I think there's still a ton of opportunities in fintech. You need to be a bit creative. So I think, you shouldn't be afraid also, to tackle some of the sort of big barriers, going full stack license and so on, which probably a couple of years ago was still sort of considered to be too complex. So generally, I have to say that. Starting a company in fintech and insurance is probably still as exciting as it was 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah. And so if you're an early stage business, please feel free to reach out.
We'll put some details for AGM Capital in the video. So the future of financial technology in the financial sector, where do you see it going over the next 5 to 10 years?
So we will see certainly sort of the confluence of banks becoming obviously, smarter, and they're catching up. I think they have all gotten the message. And we have fintech companies, basically startups who are turning into very competitive players. And on the other hand, we probably will see more, competition coming from, the big tech platforms, as we already see it here in China. So therefore, what we will see basically across this ecosystem is, a connection, of partnerships. So I'm a very big believer of partnerships, and I think in fintech, we will see that a lot. Fintechs partnering with banks, technology providers partnering with fintechs. There will be a lot of data sharing basically across these sort of integrated value chains and platforms. And I think, all of that will, lead to the fact, that it will be much more sort of fluent user experience and value proposition than there is today.
Right. And so your experience here in Asia, obviously you're from Europe. What's the vibe been like over the last couple of days, and what sense do you get about Asia and the emerging markets here?
So, it's actually quite interesting, right? A couple of years ago, everyone was looking to the US and saying, well, let's see what's happening there, and it's sort of taking a peek into the future, and then I think we can see if there's anything that we might bring to the market in Europe. I think that really has shifted over the last couple of years. by now, I think actually what's happening here, sort of like in China, I mean Asia Pacific, is actually I think where the vibe is nowadays. I mean this is I think where we see players much more innovative. I think what big tech companies have been doing here, Ali, and Tencent is very impressive. So I actually think if you look for role models in fintech, you actually find them here nowadays.
Yeah. And interestingly, the gateway to 3.5 million people within 4 hours flight. Yeah. That's a big market, right?
Exactly. And I think that's probably the catalyst also for many of the things that we're seeing here.
Yeah. So Alexander, thank you very much for stopping by. I know that you've got to run and do a speaking session. We'll put the details for AGM Capital, as I said, in the link. We'll be coming to you more live from Fintech Week Hong Kong, and go and check out AGM Capital. Thanks, Alexander.
Thank you.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.